Pregnant woman faints in court. Mistress's smile fades when judge reads DNA test.
The courtroom was thick with whispers, every bench filled, every eye fixed on the woman standing in the center. Her hands clutched her swollen belly as she pleaded, her voice trembling. He promised me he'd be there for the child. Across the room, the man shifted in his expensive suit, his gaze cold, unmoved. Beside him sat the mistress, lips curled into a smug smile, her hand draped casually over his arm, as though victory was already hers. The judge raised a hand for silence, his expression stern. Papers rustled, and the words that followed cracked through the room like thunder. "We have the results of the DNA test." The pregnant woman swayed, her breath shallow. The crowd leaned forward. And as the judge began to read, the mistress's smirk faltered, her confidence unraveling with every syllable. Because the truth, hidden for months, was about to be laid bare for all to hear, and nothing in that courtroom would ever be the same again. The judge's voice carried over the hushed courtroom, deliberate and steady. "The test confirms the unborn child belongs to the defendant." Gasps rippled through the benches. The pregnant woman's knees buckled, her hand clutching at the wooden rail, but her strength gave out. She collapsed to the floor, the sound of her fall echoing like a gavel strike. Chaos erupted, lawyers rushing forward, murmurs rising, the bailiff calling for order. The mistress shot up from her chair, her smug smile gone, her face drained of color.
"That's impossible,"
she hissed, her voice sharp and desperate. "He told me," he swore. The man beside her sat frozen, his mask of arrogance cracking under the weight of truth. His eyes darted between the fainted woman on the floor and the test results trembling in the judge's hand. The mistress grabbed his arm, nails digging into his sleeve.
"Tell them it's a lie,"
she demanded, panic rising. But his silence was louder than any denial. The judge's gavel slammed once, restoring the room to order. "The evidence is irrefutable," he declared, "and this court will not tolerate deceit." As paramedics rushed in to tend to the fainted woman, the mistress stood trembling, her world crumbling before everyone's eyes. The same crowd that once envied her now stared with pity, or worse, with scorn. And for the first time, it was clear the truth she thought would never surface had cut deeper than any lie she had built her throne upon. The man lowered his head into his hands. The mistress's grip slipped away, and the woman on the floor, though fragile, had something they no longer did: justice on her side. The pregnant woman stirred as the paramedics lifted her gently, her eyelids fluttering open. For a moment, she looked lost, as though the weight of months of fear still pressed her down. Then her gaze found the judge, and with effort, she whispered, "You mean my baby's truth is finally heard?" The judge gave a solemn nod. "Yes, the court recognizes the child as the rightful heir." The mistress staggered back, her heels clattering against the marble floor.
"No, you can't take everything from me,"
she cried, her voice breaking. But no one rushed to comfort her now. Even the man she had clung to sat in silence, his face pale, his future unraveling in front of him. Whispers grew louder in the gallery. People pointed, not at the fainted woman anymore, but at the mistress whose empire of smug smiles and lies had just been reduced to dust. The pregnant woman pressed a trembling hand to her belly, tears spilling down her cheeks, not from despair, but from relief. For the first time, she no longer felt invisible. She wasn't fighting alone anymore. The truth had spoken louder than power, louder than betrayal. The judge's gavel struck one final time. "This hearing is adjourned." As the courtroom emptied, the mistress sat frozen, her painted smile gone, her eyes hollow. And the woman she had mocked walked out, supported by strangers who offered their hands, not because of pity, but because courage commands respect. Sometimes the strongest victory isn't in the fight, it's in the truth finally laid bare for the world to see.